Soft pastels are incredible medium, vibrant, versatile, and perfect for both beginners and professionals looking to explore something new. Today, we are starting with warm-up sketches to get familiar with the medium before diving into more detailed artwork in part 2 of this series. Let's begin with the basics. I usually use smooth blank newspaper quality paper. It's thin but strong and work perfectly for rough sketches in practice. This is a fresh sheet and as you can see, its smooth texture make it ideal for soft pastels. For this session, I will be using Camel Soft Pastels, which come in 36 beautiful shades. These are excellent for beginners and even experienced artists can enjoy experimenting with them. Pastel color, especially soft pastels, are so vibrant and they really bring excitement to any artwork. I got this set for Rs 345, which is a great deal considering how long they last. Now, let's unbox it. Look at this. Each pastel is carefully protected with a soft foam sheet. And wow, what a stunning palette of color. This green, for example, is beautifully composed and well blended. The set even offers a smooth transition from green to blues, reds and yellows. But for today, let's focus on just one shade, raw umber. Let's set the box aside and get started. Before we begin on fresh paper, let's test the pastel on some old used paper to see how it behaves. I am trying out different strokes, thick, thin, light and heavy. You will notice that different color behave differently. For example, this black pastel don't blend easily even with the same amount of pressure. Soft pastel are quite powdery, so they will leave imprint on your hands. And trust me, it's hard to clean them off without water. Now, let's pick up the raw umber pastel again and practice with it on a rough paper. Try creating strokes of different values thickness until you are comfortable. This is your chance to experiment without any added pressure. With a bit more effort, I get a nice smooth stroke. I feel confident now. So let's begin our actual drawing on a fresh paper. I am taking it slow and focusing on the shadow area of my reference image. A tripod grip works best for this, not the typical artistic grip. I am using the sharper side of the pastel for detailed works and outline, carefully building up the drawing as I go. Each stroke matters, so I am reconsidering every one I make and adjust as needed. I try to keep my strokes as consistent and fluid as possible. To smooth out edges, I am using my hands, but you can use a cotton cloth if you prefer. As I work, I am focusing on proportions and filling in shadow areas first. Some lines are loose and spontaneous, which helps keep the flow natural. I have even transitioned from thin strokes to thick one without breaking the rhythm. Remember, these pastels are fragile, so be careful, just one tap could break them. Now, I am working on other limb. Adding a few details here and there give the figure a more realistic look. Again, I am keeping things simple, blocking in shadow first, then refining the shape. For the hands, I am paying attention to shadow shapes and increasing the contrast. Here is a fun tip. If your hands start looking more like a tree than a person, don't worry, you are on the right track. Slowly block in all the shadow areas, adding secondary shapes carefully while following the light and shadow pattern. Now, I am lightly shading the legs and darkening the deepest shadow on the head. I am reshaping the skull and making similar adjustment to the rest of the figure. And that's it for this pose. Let's try another example. I am using a fresh section of the same sheet and repeating the process. This time I have speed up the video to 2x speed to show you how these steps remain consistent without losing your interest. Observe my decision making and hand movement as they are more natural now because I am warmed up. This is why warm-up sketches are so important before jumping into your main artwork. They help you get comfortable with the medium and build confidence in your strokes and proportions. So, that's it for today's video. This was part 1 of the pastel drawing series where we focus on warm-up sketches and getting familiar with soft pastels. In part 2, we will dive into the vibrant world of full-colored pastel art. Don't miss it. If you found this helpful, give it a like, share it with your fellow artists, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated. See you next week for part 2.